voice actor. And then as a voice actor, I've done hundreds of conventions. I've been around some very, very famous, popular people in television and movies as an actor. Like, I'd be signing autographs here, and like right there, some big famous actor, like a real celebrity. You know what I mean? and I am so proud that the anime fans, you know, the line goes 100 people back, and he's got 6 people in his line. You know what I mean? I'm so proud that you guys are so supportive and encouraging, and there's so much good in our industry. And we can't let these hateful people, we can't let them, yeah, we can't let them take over your fandom and give it a bad name. You know? The thing that makes me the most perplexed is when all this was happening last fall with Free, somebody said something to me that I'd never heard this word associated with me before. But somebody said to me, "Oh my gosh, it's like they're bullying you." And like when I was in high school, grade school, I mean, I wasn't bullied. I know, but I know a lot of people are. See, it never occurred to me. Oh my gosh, they are. And then I started thinking, there are so many kids in the anime fan world that have been bullied. Hundreds of thousands. I know. I get emails from them talking about, you know, being made fun of because they like anime, or they wear this, or they have purple hair, or they wear black, or they like piercings, or they listen to this kind of music, whatever it is that somebody has decided that they're a little different, so let's make fun of them. A lot of people in this industry are bullied. And I started thinking, of all the places you would expect someone not to be bullied, it would be in this fan base. Because these fans know better than anybody what it's like to be bullied, right? You would think the last place, you know what I mean? It'd be like walking into the dugout of a Major League Baseball team and having people make fun of you for liking baseball. You know what I mean? It's like you would never expect that here. And yet it exists. So let's do what we can, okay? Let's do our best to squelch that kind of thing, and let them know that they are not going to get the kind of affirmation or attention, and they're not going to get away with that kind of negativity and hurtful malice and slander and lies. It's just not right. Yes, sir.
How exactly do you go about choosing your roles? Like, do you do a bit of research and be like, I want to be this guy, or do you try to put yourself out there?
You know what, my friend? I would love to think that I was important enough that I could choose my own roles. No. I always kind of smile when people say, you know, what made you decide to play this role? I'm like, oh, and I didn't decide anything. I auditioned for 6 guys, and this is the one they gave me. There are certainly characters I've wanted to play.
Like who?
Tamaki. I wanted to play Tamaki so bad. It's unnatural. I mean, and again, if you've heard the story, I apologize, but it's the case. It's the truth. Caitlin Glass, who played Haruhi and directed Aorund, called me one day and said, a friend of mine introduced me to this show, and it's flippin' hilarious and awesome and wonderful, and there's a character that reminds me of you. So I start thinking, I wonder what kind of character it is. I'm thinking, I wonder what Caitlin thinks of me. How does Caitlin see me? You know, when somebody says this character, that's you. You want to go and watch it, right? See what that character's like. So she gave me a disc with 4 or 5 episodes of Aorund. Now, by the way, it had not been licensed. In other words, there wasn't any dubbing into English. This was long before it was even licensed by an English company. It was just the Japanese. So I watched these episodes. In the first couple of episodes, Tamaki is, beautiful. Inside and out. And, suave and romantic with the ladies. And I'm watching this going, yeah! Caitlin likes me. Bow, chicka, bow, chicka, bow. And then I got to this episode where Tamaki is in a ball in the corner. Flipping out. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. Which one of these Tamakis reminds her of me?
Whole package.
But suffice it to say, I fell in love with the show and that character. Which is a bad idea before it's even licensed. You know what I mean? You kind of jinx yourself. Get your heart set on, you know what I mean? It would be like if you guys are standing out in the hallway, right? You're getting ready to come in here. And you're like, man, that fourth seat in on the fourth row, that's my seat, man. I want that seat, man. I want it so bad. What are the chances that you know what I mean? It's going to be empty when you walk in here. It's not likely. So I love Tamaki, but I was like, if this thing gets licensed by a show in Los Angeles, because at the time I was living in Houston, I won't get to be in it. And if it gets licensed by a company in Vancouver, I won't even be able to audition for it. Well, as luck would have it, Funimation licensed it. But even then, I wasn't cast. And there are 100 guys auditioning, And then Caitlin got chosen to be the director. Now, you would think, right, oh, you're in, right? Because she said that's you. You would think. But she called me one day. I'll never forget it, you guys. Oh, my gosh. I was coming out of ADV. I had just recorded something at ADV, and it was dark. I'll never forget. I can see it like it was yesterday. I rode my motorcycle to ADV, and I came out, and I remember thinking, oh, man, it's dark. I was hoping I'd get out before it was dark. But I rode my bike, and I came out, and before I got on my bike, my phone rang, and it was Caitlin, and she said, listen, I want to talk to you. I know you're coming up to audition for Aorund in a couple of days. And she said, I want to talk to you. She said, I know that you really want to play this role, and I know that you love it, and I know that I said that this character reminds me of you, but it's an ensemble cast. In other words, I have to choose all of the actors that work together as a unified group. You know what I mean? They have to all sound good together. They have to fit well together. And I was like, okay, well, I understand. I understand. So I went up to Funimation, and I walked in, and Caitlin said, well, we know who you want to audition for. No pressure, right? I was terrified. I had recorded probably 100 shows by that time, and I was really nervous because I wanted it so bad. So I did I did the audition, and then Caitlin said something to me that was like running a stake through my heart. She said, okay, anyone else you want to read for? Anyone else? There isn't anyone else! So I'm like, okay, I'll read for one of the twins, and I'll read for Kyoya. But I didn't want them. Tamaki. So I left, and I was at a convention in Hawaii, and I got a phone call from her, and she said, I just wanted to call to congratulate you. You're going to be playing Tamaki. I was like, I will serve you forever. Of all the shows I've done, I probably savored Aorund more than any other show. You understand what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Like when you're doing it, you realize how neat it is, and you just want to wring every bit of the experience out of it. See, with Full Metal and some other shows, it wasn't until I was way into them that I realized how special they were. But Aorund, I knew, like, before I was even cast, how wonderful that show was. So as I recorded, I really, really, really savored that experience. Now, who asked the last question? You did, didn't you? Okay, I want to go kind of boy, girl here. Yes.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Okay, I know you probably get these a lot, but so you see this how you're like new with Ruby? Could you like maybe like say something as Uncle Crow?
Oh, no. How many of you have heard it so far? It's not enough people. I kind of have this thing where I don't want to do too much, voice lines from things until people know more about it. Like, it's so funny to me. It's so funny to me. Somebody will come to me and go, I heard you play Broly in Dragon Ball Z. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And he goes, say something. And I'll say to him, have you seen it? And he goes, no. And I'll be like, I could say anything. You would know, I'd be like, Kakarot! You wouldn't know if that's what he sounds like or not, right? So I kind of have this thing where I like a voice and a character to get out there for a while.
Am I able
and
to
kind
ask a question instead?
Sir? Sure.
Okay.
Of course, sweetie.
Okay. I wasn't prepared for this.
Oh, quick, have another question.
Do you have to do you go into Rooster Teeth to go voice act for Crow?
No, actually, I record the lines at my home.
Oh,
I have a
does that
studio
make
in
it
my
difficult?
home, and I record them and send them into them.
Does that make it difficult?
Yeah. Well, it's more difficult than it would be. In fact, it's funny. We were talking about this morning. Before I left my hotel, I had to record a couple of auditions for Bang Zoom in LA. And I was telling our friend there that I hate auditioning remotely. Because if you're not standing in front of the director, you don't know what he wants.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like taking a shot, right? So if you record it remotely and just send him a file, you don't have the opportunity for the director to go, okay, that was pretty good, but let's drop the pitch a little bit. Or let's make him a little more nerdy, or let's make him a little more flamboyant. You don't have the chance to dial in those adjustments because you're not there in front of it. So anytime I send in an audition, I'll write at the end, please do two things for me. One, confirm you got it, confirm you got the file. And number two, if you want to hear anything differently, just tell me. Just let me know. It's hard, it's difficult sometimes to know what a director wants. And so when I'm recording Uncle Crow remotely, I had a conversation with them. I had a really long conversation about him and who he was, and then I actually recorded a couple of lines with different attitudes